Rabbi Say, a little bit of Hilchos Shabbos. I want to talk about halacha, which is an interesting one that a lot of people think is not negeya. There are a lot of halachas like that. Actually, somebody asked me, can we do all the halachas that people don't think are negeya, or they think everything's asa, but really it's mutter? So we'll start at least with that one. One of the halachas that people don't realize are negeya is the malacha of ma'abed. What was the malacha of ma'abed? How did they do ma'abed in the Mishkan? Ma'abed is one of the Lamed Tes malachas. In fact, Rashi brings down in Shabbos Ayin Gimel that ma'abed done in the Mishkan was, we know that the skins, which were the coverings of the Mishkan, were made of animal hides, made of animal skins. Now, an animal skin is generally going to get moldy if you just take it off the animal and leave it. It's not going to preserve, it doesn't preserve itself. You can't take an animal skin and just keep it that way. There needs to be done a process that will keep it, preserving, that will keep it good, that will keep it soft, that will keep it, not from smelling, not from going bad, whatever it may be. That is, in a nutshell, the malacha of ma'abed. The Rambam, when he discusses this in Perush Mishnayos, the Rambam says that the malacha of ma'abed is to turn a soft skin into real natural leather that we can use all the time. Now, before the leather is made, I don't know how many of you know there's many processes that leather goes through in order to get it to where we use it to, right? Many of the leather items that we use, obviously, have gone through a various process in order to get them to where they are. So, number one, and obviously the process will vary depending on what they're doing and how it's done and what it's needed for, but generally the raw skin is covered with a salt or it's soaked in a brine. I don't know if any of you have seen how they make a cloth or a Sefer Torah or for tefillin for that matter as well, is that they will take the animal hide and they will soak it in very big, normally blue, plastic barrels of salty water. And that sort of kills off, dehydrates them and that soaks them. That's the very first process. Sometimes it's re-soaked in vinegar. The skin is generally, after that process, very, very soft. So it's a perfect opportunity to smooth it out from all the bumps that it may have on being on the animal's body, obviously. The skin is sometimes trampled on, or nowadays put through these very thin, these heavy rollers, and it goes through that, and that makes it very, very thin and even, and again, evens out the bumps that may be over there. Sometimes to enrich the leather, they rub it over with some kind of oil or greasiness, which again makes it nice and smooth, also prolongs the life of the leather as well. And sometimes they do other things as well. So that pretty much is the process of tanning ma'abed, which was done in the Mishkan in certain ways, in order to take these skins and use them as a covering for the Mishkan. Okay? So, how is this negeya to us? On a regular Shabbos, how many of us are dealing with skins of an animal that you are hardening, that you are trampling, that you are rolling, that you are tanning? No? Shimon, how is this negeya? Everything I just said. How is this negeya? No, Yechiel. How is this negeya to everything that we've been talking about? It's very important. If this is negeya every Shabbos, we have to know this. What is it? So I'll tell you number one. A few different things I want to talk about today. The first thing is the Rambam. The Rambam says in Hilchos Shabbos, Perek Yud Aleph, Halacha Vav, that any type of working with leather is included in ma'abed. Question number one, Rabbi Say. Rav Falk Zatzal and Machzor Eliyahu Chelik Aleph has a question. How are you allowed to walk with leather shoes? The Rambam paskins that when you take any type of leather and you work it through, you're over on ma'abed. Now there's no question that, I don't know if you've ever done this or if you've ever seen anyone do this. When you get a brand new leather shoe, it's very, very hard. It's not geschmack, it's not soft. It takes a bit of time to work into it, right? It's the famous shaila. What's that? 1 second. No, don't have to change it. Anything working with leather to make it softer, to make it better, to make it more usable, is going to be the Issa. Even if you don't change it, even if it's fully chained. That's the Rambam. That's why I started with the Rambam. And if there's the famous Chakira. Chaim Brisk has this Chakira. Let's say, for example, you get a brand new pair of shoes. Now, often the first week or two of wearing these brand new shoes is not so geschmack, right? It's not comfortable. It takes a couple of weeks to get right into it. Should I wear it? Als Oinig Shabbos. It's not Oinig Shabbos. It's very not comfortable. It's really not nice. Als Kovod Shabbos. It's Kovod Shabbos. Brand new pair of shoes. My other shoes is terrible. These are beautiful. So which one wins? Covered or oinig? Right? Famous shaila. Not going into this moment of time. Okay? Just to mention, I got pashtus, the oinig wins. But anyway, okay, so that is the shaila. So if you take a brand new pair of shoes on Shabbos, and you sort of fold it backwards and forwards just to make it a little bit sort of more durable, obviously that's pashtus in Issa. Why? Because like the Rambam says, you're working with leather, even though it's fully made, you're making it softer. That is a problem of ma'abed. Again? Yeah, why are you doing it? Why are you taking this brand new pair of shoes and going like this? Because it's softer, because it's easier, nicer. That what? No, one second. Well, you're not doing this on the shoe, bending the shoe in order to get my foot in it. My foot can go in, but once my foot's in, it's going to be like, it's not going to schmuck to walk. So I'm doing this in order like to sort of make it softer, make it more durable. Leather does that, right? You always say when you buy leather shoes. You never went to the store and you bought leather shoes and you're like, these are a bit tight, and they're like, don't worry, after a few days, and you're still waiting for that to happen, right? They always tell you it gets softer, it gets better, that's how it works. But if you do it biyadayim, it's a problem. So Rafal has a kasha. What about walking stam? Stop walking with the shoes every time you walk, you're making it softer. No, ma'abed on the leather. And he says it's not a problem. Why is it not a problem? First of all, he says the main reason why it becomes soft is the moisture that comes out of your foot, which we don't even realize sometimes how much moisture. Somebody once said, if you put a plastic on your arm and go for a walk in the heat, you will be so surprised how much moisture comes out. Not including the moisture that's coming out because the plastic's on there, but just as moisture that leaves your body. And the moisture that leaves your foot is coming out into the socks, which gets absorbed into the leather, which makes it softer, which Italian is a groma, and therefore it's not your kavana, and whatever it is, that's why it's motor. So walking with shoes is fine. What's that?
That's only if you wear socks.
And if you don't wear socks?
Then it's going straight in.
It's still a groma. No, that's true. It's much quicker. But it's still a groma. Groma meaning I walk, then the moisture comes out, then it goes in the shoe. As opposed to
you're already sweating, you can't go in.
That may be true unless you could say over there, it's Einim Mischaven, maybe over there, I don't want it to go onto the leg because it gets too wet. Different thing. What about shoe trees? Anybody uses shoe trees? The Americans are very big into shoe trees, right? English, shoe trees? Yeah. What's a shoe tree? See, there you go. There. What's the shoe tree? Bidiyuk. No, the Americans, right? You know what I'm talking about? I was like, what? Who uses shoe trees? No, Leiby, they use shoe trees by you? You know what it is, right? Chiel, you've... No? Tali? What do you call it?
Shoe trees.
I don't know, I didn't know the name.
No.
That's what we call
You know what it is, right? It's come to Gateshead, yeah? It's come to Gateshead, yeah? It's a plastic piece, or the really fancy ones, by the way, are wood. Yeah, really fancy, choshev ones. It's a choshev you get, like makes and... I think, leave out the moisture. Is a shoe tree mutter or asa on Shabbos Kodesh? What's the shaila? The shaila is this, is ma'abed. Why? Because what you're doing essentially, when you're using a shoe tree, is you are working with the leather. Working with the leather, it's a deraisa of ma'abed. So the Minchas Yitzchak, when he discusses the shaila, he says like this. And it's very, very important, but this is why I started the shir, because most people, if they learn Hilchos Ma'abed, they're like, it's not like here to us. We don't deal with skins, we're not a tannery over here. We don't deal with leather. And the answer is it's not true. Because if you have a shoe tree, now there are two types of shoe trees, okay? Two types of shoe trees. Shoe tree number one is a very choshev piece that not only does it go into the shoe, but it has a special thing that you can tighten. Anyone ever seen this before? That you can sort of, you've seen this, yeah? And you can actually mamish, it makes the shoe beautiful, keeps its shape. So the Minchas Yitzchak says, if after the rain, you're going in the rain, and sometimes after the rain, the shoe sometimes, gets out of shape, and you put the shoe tree after you come home in and you tighten it up, that's an Issa D'Oraisa. You have been Mechal the Shabbos, one of the Lamates Melachos. A very unknown halacha that most people don't know. Right? Because you did Ma'abed D'Oraisa. And again, as we learned from the Rambam, any type of working with leather is included in the Issa. So that's number one. Number two, the other type of shoe tree, which is just a little plastic piece with a little spring, and you insert it inside. It sort of keeps it status quo, if you know what I mean, right? It keeps the shoe in the form that it is now. It doesn't make it better, doesn't make it straighter, doesn't make it tighter, just keeps it the way it is. That's fine. That you could do, because you're keeping it the way it is. But the more choshever ones are problematic, right? So a person has to be careful. You come out of the rain, and you want to use one of those things, so that will be problematic. Let's move on. Does it only apply to leather? Example. Does anybody use contact lenses?
Yes.
Yes. Beautiful. So this is yet another example when it could be Nogeya, the malacha of ma'abed, of tanning leather with contact lenses. Huh? What is he talking about? You guys come America like, what is going on over here? What is happening over here? Contact lenses, ma'abed, doraisa, dealing with contact lenses. You lose contact lenses, Mr. Tommy. You know this already, right? You do now. So it is like this. The Gemara tells us a very interesting thing. The Gemara in Shabbos Ayin Daled tells us that if a person salts meat, which is, by the way, what they used to do in the olden days, is the Gemara calls it a urcha. They used to go on the journey. They didn't have fridges and freezers. They didn't have any way of keeping meat fresh. The only way to keep meat fresh was to use salt and preserve it. The Gemara talks about preserving meat. And the Gemara says that if you do this with meat, salt on meat, which is another shaila, by the way, because salt on vegetables, everyone here knows is a shaila of ma'abid. This everybody knows when you have a plate of vegetables in front of you and you salt them, that you're over on ma'abid. Am I correct in what I'm saying? That everyone knows that. Naftali, right? Why is it a problem? It's one of the Lamatas Malachas, the 39 forbidden activities on Shabbat, which all of us grew up with and know what's included in that. Salting a cucumber, stam. You want a cucumber with a bit of salt? No. Ma'abed, Bashad. Who doesn't know that? Right? Who doesn't know that? Come on, right? You see? Avada. Gate said, Avada. Shkoyach. Rafalk right behind you over there, so you had no choice. Gavaldik. Al Kaponim. You never heard this before? Shem Yirachim. What?
Are you taking advantage of our lack of knowledge?
No, I'm trying to teach you. Ma'abed, salting vegetable. No one ever, no one. You never saw anyone put salt on his cucumber on Shabbos. You ever heard someone in the background? Shabbos! Forget the cars. The guy with the salt and the cucumbers. No? What's the problem? What do you mean? Lamtas Malachos, hello, Ma'abed? Okay, so we'll get to that. Lat. I can't shock you all in one time. You just come back from America. Chill out. All right. Who put salt? All right, let's move on. One last halacha Rabbi Yisrael for today. So again, the Gemara it's very clear that ma'abed can also apply to non-leather items. Okay? Again, the Mishnah, which Rashi explains, is talking about leather. That's the lamates, that's the av malacha. And then you have the offspring. Then you have the other things. One of the examples the Gemara brings is meat. Okay? Which means that it comes out that anything that is not necessarily leather could be included in there. And the shaila is like this. What happens, and I'm sure most of you are familiar, even if you don't wear contact lenses, you're probably familiar with this. I'm talking about soft, right? You have soft, right? You know what hard is, right? The hard lenses and the soft lenses. Huh? Which one? The soft ones? What happens? Oh, it gets hard. That's interesting. So now Sameir is coming along with a Gavaldige Chiddush, which is very important for us to know. Now, we have discussed contact lenses in a different context. Which other shaila is then again to contact lenses? Ooh, nice. Why? Taking out the water. Okay, what other shaila? There's a shaila of malabin, of cleaning, because every contact lenses actually absorbs water. Between 20 and 33% of water is absorbed into the actual contact lens. And therefore, when you're rubbing it with the saline solution or anything similar, you could actually be cleaning it like cleaning a beged. Right? Everyone knows you can't clean a beged on Shabbos, right? No, this is a double pashat ad ma'od. Everybody knows you can't. You have a stain. You can't even. Rishalmi says you can't even take your saliva, right? That's everyone knows. Shulchan Aruch and Semishin base. That's pashat. The question is legabe the contact lenses. Okay. So what happens is, like Nosameya said, it gets hard, which is a problem. It also shrivels. It also loses its form, right? Now it takes a few minutes for that to happen. Eventually, it can crack and it tears. So Rav Falk Zatzal has a tshuva about this exact yisoid. What's that?
The only thing is, when it gets hard, you can't use it again. So
you cannot use it again. Excellent. Have you ever tried the following? Taking it when it's hard and putting it into the solution. All of a sudden it works. Says Rav Falk Zatzal on the tshuva over here, that if a person takes the contact lens, now this can happen, by the way. You lose your contact lens, you're looking all over for it, right? You're looking all over the floor. You find it. By the time you find it, it's been maybe 5 minutes. Now you take it, it's all hard. Now what should I do? I don't have another one. So I quickly dip it into some solution that I have with me, right? I'm taking my pocket, the box, put it in there. Oh, Baruch Hashem. Take a few minutes, it gets back to its regular thing. Take the guy, pick him up. Second floor, right? Mishnah Yerushalmi in the Sanhedrin. Take him out, throw him off. Everybody clap. We'll make a whole court case, right? There'll be protests. Shem Yerachim, right? Chayiv skila. Why? Because it's an issa da'oraisa. That's an issa da'oraisa for a person to do that. I don't know how many people that. It's mamash meisa malabid or ma'abid. We started today with, does anybody know how it's nageya of ma'abid, daraisa, and every single one of our days on Shabbos? And it could be nageya, number one with the shoe trees, and number two with the contact lenses over there. There is a shaila, if a person is over ma'abid when it comes to human skin. That's the shaila. Can we shayach ma'abed by tanning by human skin over there? And the shaila that we have to get to, which we just touched upon, is there ma'abed and how is it ma'abed with the problem of salting vegetables and other various items, which Be'ezus Hashem on Sunday we're going to try to go through and make sure. I know it's Shabbos coming up, but Maisa, we'll have to wait till then. Be'ezus Hashem, Sunday we'll go to the lockers of tanning vegetables. Have a wonderful day.